Bitcoin is what I would call a leverageable asset. You can put leverage on it and feel somewhat safe as long as you're using common sense. Yeah. So for all those reasons, that's why the average trader or someone getting started investing in cryptocurrency, you need to start with Bitcoin first.
All right. Welcome. This is your boy Diego Garcia, my partner Marcus Hollyman.
Yo.
We've been actually dormant for almost a month and a half, and it's because we've been pretty fucking busy with crypto.
Man, it's been wild.
It's been wild. Bitcoin from 28 all the way to 69,000. Right now it's 49,000.
It's all over the place.
And we want to share with you guys a little bit of the updates that we have done this month and a half with crypto. So far, we have acquired, 2 coins already?
Got 2 in the oven.
2 in the oven.
And we got 2 ready to go.
2 ready to go. Our average cost right now, it's $56,000 a coin.
56 because we a little premature on that first rally. Got kind of caught in the FOMO, right?
Yes.
We bought in that mid 60, which was kind of sucked because Bitcoin put on a head fake. It was acting like it was going to run to 75.
Because Santa was supposed to come this year and close the year at $100,000. But it didn't happen.
I was looking for my bag, and I looked in that mother. It was some coal. I didn't get shit. So I was looking for my payday. So we got a little FOMO.
I did a video a week and a half ago about only rookies buy at all-time high, and I'm part of that.
And I'd be damned if we didn't get caught in the same
lesson learned.
Teach. Yep.
Never buy at all-time heights. I repeat myself, never buy at all-time heights. Wait for it.
Wait for the pullback.
Buy at a discount.
Yep, and that's all I preach. Wait for the pullback. Wait for the pullback. Even before we bought that coin in the 60, I said it's going to pull back to the 21 moving average, right? Wait for the pullback. Wait for the pullback. And I'd be damned if we didn't wait for the pullback.
So where are we at right now? Well, actually, at 49,000, where are we at right now? It's been a flush.
Well, we was gonna pop that other coin at it was at like 46 a couple of days ago. Well, like 24 hours ago, and then boom, all of a sudden it broke out of this little wedge pattern that it had, and it just ran right now. Like right now, currently it's at 49.2. It's been knocking up against the bottom of the 21-day moving average for the day chart, so it's got some resistance at about 49.5. It's been touching it and touching and touching. So we kind of got caught. So we're trying to hold on and see if we get a pullback from the 49. We'll go back and retest that 46, and then we'll fire one coin off right there.
So Santa for sure is not hitting the $100,000.
Well, he's gonna be late. Santa's on shit. Santa's got to get this shit out of layaway. He's late, so we might be late.
What are the things that? Because one thing is December was being a criminal for crypto. Bitcoin has been from $69,000 ultimate high, drop all the way to 42. Remember that time when it was a Friday?
Yeah, that flash crash.
The flash. It was a quick flash because it was a flush of leverage out there.
People got all the leverage and all those orders and all that crap. 20Xs and 10X leverage, all that shit got cleaned out.
So now it looks like it's consolidating.
Yeah.
We have some paper losses in the process. That's part of the business.
Yeah.
We want to acquire 2 more coins in the process as well.
The good thing is when the markets are going down, there's 2 scenarios. It goes up, you're happy on what you already got, right? If it's going down, you're happy because now you can buy more, right? So if you believe in the asset, which we totally believe in Bitcoin, lower prices is a good thing.
But what makes you buy more? Like, why should somebody buy more?
Because
that's the question.
First of all, you got to be confident and believe in what you're buying. If you're all in on what you're buying, if you believe in the asset, which I believe in Bitcoin, because I see it as a store of value, and we're in an economic condition where you can't trust the damn dollar, you can't trust the damn Fed, you can't trust the central bank, you can't trust all this bullshit, you can't trust the politicians. So you better be having your shit in something that is off the damn grid, and Bitcoin is very good at that. So since it's a store of value that I trust, and I see it as new money, smart money, right? Then these dips don't scare me. I just see them as an opportunity. Hey, back up the truck. Let's get some more.
What will be the worst case scenario for Bitcoin in a way? What will be the apocalypse for Bitcoin?
The worst case, I think it already passed that, like you were saying
the
last year. Well, flash crashes come.
Okay.
That's just because of leverage. Some of these platforms, they give you 100x. That's like crack and fentanyl and crystal, all that shit in one.
The leverage, right,
X.
that you can get on those platforms.
100x? Are you kidding me? If you trade, where's the camera at? Right there. If you trade with 100x, your liquidation price is going to be so fucking close to the damn current price that it's trading at that if it farts, you're going to get liquidated. But people don't know no better. So anyway, 100X is like crack, fentanyl, dope, shit, all in one, right?
So a simple fart will wipe you out.
Wipe you out. If it farts, if you fart, it might wipe you out.
It might wipe you out.
Matter of
So
fact,
you better wipe your
ass. Because before you can even push the button, you gone. So the point is, that's what creates flash crashes. A bunch of people pile on, too much leverage. But I think the question was, you asked, what gives you the courage, right? Well, if you believe in something, which I wholeheartedly do, if you believe in it and you're committed, then these dips and these major pullbacks don't scare you at all. And you were saying, well, what would be the death knell for Bitcoin, right? What would kill it? I think it got past that when, like about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, when it was kind of in the 7,000, 9,000, it wasn't really believable yet. Not all of these publicly traded companies and smart money and funds and big whales are in it. This shit ain't going nowhere now. It's here now. It's solid. So now it's just about being able to trust these dips, these new every now and then these crashes, where it really corrects. And that's it. If you can ride the volatility, you're good. It's not going anywhere. Bitcoin ain't going nowhere. Tell your grandmama, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Santa it ain't going nowhere. It's
so
here.
I think one thing that the format has changed, for instance, on my side, based on my research, is that Bitcoin started to be more kind of like a currency, but now it's more kind of like store of wealth, It's
more like digital gold.
And it's more like digital gold, synthetic gold.
Synthetic gold.
But there's also different things going on in essence. Okay, why Bitcoin has dropped significantly in the last couple of weeks? One of them, obviously, it's because no capital allocation from institutions. Institutions right now, they're closing shop this year. They're wrapping up their operation. The new development or the new deployment of capital will happen next year in the first quarter. That's when projects gets reactivated. Number two on that part is also capital gains as well. People are cashing out their profits. They're having a good time, right? They don't know exactly, because also I was reading, I was checking on this site, one of the research says that since there's no structural way of trying to define capital taxes for crypto, because it's actually right now you're playing with gray areas when it comes to profits on Bitcoin.
It's a moving target,
It's a moving situation right now. So that's kind of like weird on that process. And third, the volume, right? In the transactional volume, right? This year has been super fucking low. Because why people are out in Christmas, holiday, and stuff like that. That's one of the reasons why I believe people were super bullish on a Santa Claus rally for $100,000. That now this time is different. Raoul Pal, we follow this guy, very influential guy in the crypto space, right? Along with Michael Saylor, right? Who said this theory, which I don't know if it is right or wrong. Let me know what you think on this. That, inflation, it's 6.7% nowadays, right now. Which means your dollar is fucking less. The purchasing power of your dollar is less than that.
That's the stated rate.
That's the stated rate.
There's more like double digits.
Exactly.
Right.
That's creating that people don't have more disposable income to put some money right into what it is like risky assets like Bitcoin and stuff like that. I really don't think that's the case. I do believe the case is mostly related to the things that I mentioned, the over leverage. Just like you said, people who has play with leverage, 100x, 50x, 25x on leverage. You can get flushed right away on that situation. The margin calls are like that.
Car crash, wrecked.
Car crash on that. So what do we expect for next year, actually? That's the question. 2022 with regulations and stuff like that. People actually are questioning three things for next year. And these are the things on our side we need to consider as well. Number one, the regulation that's happening next year, we don't know how it's going to affect. That's something different. Number two, right? The institutional cap allocation, the projects, the money from institutions moving to this big space, right? with promoting new projects. And number three, it's the adaptability of the crypto out there, which let's talk about only Bitcoin, because outside of that, it's a different ballgame. You know, we have.
And then let's talk on it from a perspective of how people that are listening to this can take advantage of it. You know, the small guy. You know, because what matters, this is what matters to us, what matters to me, what matters to you is how do we make money from it? You know,
right.
Regulation is going to do what it's going to do. So what are some of the things that we're doing to make money from Bitcoin? And the reason we're talking about Bitcoin for starters is it's integral to getting in cryptocurrency. If you're going to get into cryptocurrency in any format, you have to pay attention to Bitcoin. Even, you know, you have some of these people say, well, I like Solano, I like Avalanche, I like this, I like Cardano, I like that. That's all fine. They think, but Bitcoin is like the sun. And all of those other projects are like planets, and they revolve around the sun. So as Bitcoin goes, a lot of those also go. So no matter what you want to do in cryptocurrency, you have to have a good understanding and a good focus of what Bitcoin is doing, because Bitcoin is the sun. It's 45% of the market, and if it catches a cold, everybody gets something. So that's why we're talking about Bitcoin.
What's the resistance on Bitcoin? Because, like, for instance, my buddy right here, the one who is behind the camera,
The producer.
he's still like reluctant about putting money on Bitcoin. And we're talking about bubble and possible scenarios like this thing might be a scheme or a scam.
He's just chicken doo-doo, chicken shit.
Besides the chicken doo-doo and all that, right? Why the I guess the question now is it like the adaptability? Is it the utility function of this? Is it that it's really hard to open a wallet account and buy crypto? In this case, Bitcoin. Why is it's not happening as fast as we think, you know, it can be? You know, that's kind of like a question that I ask myself every single time.
It's a good question. Once again, we're trying to keep this thing on a theme of how the audience and the peeps that's, you know, clocking this can take advantage of Bitcoin.
How do we take advantage of it?
But first, why the producer? Why he don't have no Bitcoin? Well, I think a lot of it is in the answers that you said. A lot of people don't understand at this point how to actually get started, because I get a lot of that all the time. Well, how do you set up a wallet, and what's MetaMask, and what's this, what's that? People are creatures of habit. You know, people don't like to do new shit. 6 months ago, I was one of those, right? So we're crypto babies too. You know, I'm a businessman first, but I know from experience, and so do you, that you got to change your game when the game changes. So that's why we're here. So yeah, people are a little reluctant. Now, back to your other thing, what are we doing, and what can the viewers do to take advantage of it? Well, as we just said, Bitcoin is a great place to start. It should be the foundation of your account, of what you're doing. You need to get some Bitcoin. You need to start trading it. Now, we understand this, can't miss this point. And, you know, at $48,000, $50,000 a coin, a lot of people ain't got that kind of cheese. You know, I understand that.
I got you.
But that don't mean you have to be dealing in a whole coin. You need to, I recommend from what we're doing, right? We're trading Bitcoin. You know, people say, well, why are you not trading Shibu and Doge and all them other dogs and cats and shit? Well, you can do that, and a lot of people get in all that FOMO, all that hype and shit, but those things can move 50% in one day, and they can go down 50, 100% in a day, and they're very sensitive to things that you can't control, right? If I'm going to invest in trading things, I need stability, right? We want stability. I don't want to take a position and wake up in the morning or this evening and my shit's down 50%. That's what happens in those alternative coins, right? And tokens. Bitcoin is going to be more stable. Another reason you want to be starting with Bitcoin, if you're going to trade it, I recommend trading it, because unless you got Michael Saylor kind of money, where you can just buy and sit on shit.
He actually we recently purchased like another block of.
Oh, he just picked up another, 1,200 coins. No big deal.
I think his position right now is more than $1 billion.
Yeah, like quarters under the couch and shit. He pick up a Bitcoin like I sweep the ashtray in my car and shit. Let me pick up another 1,200 Bitcoin. No big thing. But no, for the average person that's watching this and like us, I don't just throw coins around. I ain't got it like that. But what I do is I trade in Bitcoin. I don't trade Shibu and Boo Boo and Fubu and dogs and cats and shit, because you can't they're not high quality, and you can be up and down. That shit can wreck your shit. And you can't put any leverage on it if you got half a brain. So Bitcoin is more stable. I don't have to worry about it losing 100% of its value and then tomorrow. I ain't got to worry about that. All of the exchanges trade in it. Everybody accepts it. So, and I can put leverage on it safely. That's why I'm trading Bitcoin. And above all, it's extremely liquid. I can get trades executed in a second, in and out. So that's why you should probably start looking at Bitcoin.
1,000 is nothing for a transaction that's being generated on a daily basis.
It's got
2,000, 5,000.
tremendous liquidity, and that's very important. If you're going to trade, you need liquidity. You got to be able to get in and out, get executed, fast. And then you need something that you can safely put leverage on. Can you imagine for a second somebody trading Shibu or Doge, and you put 50x on that shit? That's even more insane. So Bitcoin is what I would call a leverageable asset. You can put leverage on it and feel somewhat safe as long as you're using common sense. Yeah. So for all those reasons, that's why the average trader or someone getting started investing in cryptocurrency, you need to start with Bitcoin first.
Let's talk about a little bit about leverage, because that's a very important topic.
Of course.
When it comes about trading. When do you leverage and when do you holding? That's the question. When are you holding Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
For long term.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when are you just leveraging for a trading purpose? Because that's kind of like the question in between,
Yeah. That's a good point. Great question. You kind of got to be doing them all at the same time. So let me break it down. What we do is we invest for the long term. So when you're investing, the definition of investing and trading are very similar. They're very synonymous. Trading tends to mean more short term. Still putting money up, skin in, right? Still got skin. Investing tends to be more long term, but you're still putting money up, right? So we're investors and traders. We do both, right? So we take a long-term approach. So we're buying Bitcoins on the dips when they go down, right? We're buying the coin for the long term. We're going to hold those, right? But then so that's maybe like 80% of our portfolio is in when the time is right. We sit on cash until the market takes significant dips. So what's the definition of that? 30%, 50%, significant dips, then we start buying. And then we'll hold that, right? We hold that coin in our account. And then when the market goes up 60, 70,000 Bitcoin, we start unloading some of it, right? So that's our long-term strategy, right? Which is about 80% of our portfolio, right? And then about 20% is in trading and holding microcaps, right? So about 10% is in microcaps and about 10% is in trading.
What's a microcap for people to know what's actually a microcap in the crypto space?
Yeah, that's a good question too. The whole entire game is built on capitalization, right? So what does that mean? Well, the entire crypto space right now, it was at about almost 2.8 trillion. It's about 2.2 trillion now. It came down a lot with Bitcoin, all that stuff. All the alts, all of them got hit.
Right.
So the game is a lot of the pros believe, and I believe that at some point cryptocurrency might be $100 trillion. 10 years from now, 20 years, it's gonna be a major player, right? So if it's at 2 and it's gonna go to a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 in years to come, well, then everything's gonna go up multiples of X, right? Orders of magnitude, right? So the reason you wanna be buying microcap projects is because, like, for example, a lot of people love Solana, right? A lot of people love Cardano, well, those are large caps now. They're in the tens of billions of dollars.
Right.
But at one point, maybe like last year, some of those were microcaps themselves, right? So if you can get a microcap project, which may be $100 million, $50 million, which is a good project and it provides a utility, has some potential, and it's got good developers and all that, you want to invest in that and hold it until it becomes a large cap.
And I think the key on what you're actually saying is that you need to actually, I think that's very important. there's a lot of microcaps out there, but there's on a
Some
daily
shit caps too.
on a daily basis, there's a lot of microcaps
Yeah.
projects in crypto. The problem is there's so many supply of and offers out there that you don't even actually know which one to select, which one actually the best. The best option right here is to one is the most important thing. It's if you actually like the project, if you actually are in the project. Like for instance, there's a lot of gaming projects out there, right? And
Well, I think that you're opening the door for what are we doing? How do we look at it, right? Because you brought up a really good point. Some people call them shit coins, shit projects, right? There's a lot of shitty projects, and just like anything else, when it's something new, when it's the wild, wild west, right?
which is a wild
It's
west.
the wild west. 90% of that shit ain't no good. There's a lot of fool's gold out there and a lot of fools digging for it, right? So 95% of that's going to be dog shit. So like you're saying, how do you find the diamonds in the rough, the real good shit? How do you do that? And what are we doing, right?
The things that we're involved. The things that if it's a gaming project, are you playing the game? Are you actually experiencing the game? What do you think about the game? What do you think about the characters? What do you think about the NFT? What do you think of? I mean, there's so many things out there. At first, and I know we're deviating too much on this because this shit is so fucking big.
Big. It's hard to get your arms
It's
around.
big, and one thing we're trying to define, and this is pretty interesting in this side. One thing we were trying to define in the beginning was actually the real functionality of an NFT, because you have like NFTs, which is a non-fungible token, right? It was just related to a JPEG, right? A photo that was, tradable at 50,000, 100,000, and it was like has like apes and has like rocks and has like cartoons and
toads and frogs
digital,
and shit.
I mean,
Cats.
cats and a lot of different shit out there, right? And it was, and still, still kind of like speculative in a way, but somehow when you start getting yourself more into the crypto space, and you actually use those NFTs for functionality purposes, like the gaming. In the game is going to be super fucking big, because now when you actually are involved in a project that's related to a gaming, right, in the crypto, an NFT is actually really useful.
It's useful now.
Why? Because an NFT, it's your character in the
damn
game,
yes.
the damn game,
Well.
and you can actually invest a lot of money in your NFT dash your character by buying them specs, by buy them customs, things that leverage your position in the game. And as you play, for instance,
And then backs into the next character.
backs into the next character,
Play to earn.
you get more rewards because your customs, you supercharge your NFT, which is your character.
You're in the
and
play
then-
to earn
and you can
category.
play. You are now into what it is, the play to earn. Which, hence, in the process now, you can actually sell your character dash your NFT in the marketplace, and receive royalty in the process for that. I mean, it's now turned into functionality.
Right.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, let me jump in there and add to what you're saying. So back to what we're doing, right, and why we're doing it. You brought up a good point on how you begin to narrow down all the junk from the good stuff, right? So what we're doing is we're taking a high level approach, right? We're looking at, okay, what are the categories that matter? Because in the cryptocurrency, just like any other business model, social media, all this shit, the same thing. There was
Right.
a million social media things that didn't work, and it just got narrowed down to like 10, your WhatsApp and your Facebook and Twitter, all that shit, right? So what's going to make the cryptocurrency projects, one key thing that a cryptocurrency project has to have, a coin or a token, it needs to have utility. It means it needs to do something. And then it also needs to be able to take on massive adoption.
Right.
That is the key. If nobody's using that utility, because there's a lot of utility that ain't worth a shit.
Right.
People come up with utility all the time, doesn't do nothing. What's that thing that the KFC, they made a spoon and a fork combination? That shit wasn't good as a spoon and wasn't good as a fork, So yes, they're making things that don't do shit. So the next thing is your utility has to have massive adoption. So
Right.
that's what led us to gaming, because gaming has massive adoption. Right? And then what we used to do, we used to invest in NFTs, like you were saying, that had no utility. When NFTs first hit the market, it was a novelty, right? Like Beanie Babies and shit like that, and Cabbage Patch, all kind of silly shit, right? It was a novelty, Pokemons and shit. People were really buying them to do what's called flexing. You know, it was only a flex. I buy it because it's cool. And that's okay until you get 10 million things that are cool. I don't need 10,000 things in my wallet that's cool, right? So it didn't take long before the cool factor wore off. People ran out of things to flex. So that's why so many of them are crashing and burning, which leads you back to square one. If you're going to buy an NFT, what the hell am I going to do with it? I only need one profile picture. It's only one flexor. What else am I going to do? What I need 30 more of those for? You don't. So gaming is a perfect segue to marry up with NFTs. You should invest in NFTs if you want to get in this thing like we do. We only invest in NFTs that are connected to a project that has utility, i.e. a gaming platforms. For example, like we'll get into this more later, like Gala games, right?
Why don't we tell them 5 projects that we're working on right now, and we'll talk about this in an upcoming creative space, whatever, content recording episode, whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah. 5 things that we're working on right now in the
5 projects.
5 projects.
All right, project number 1 that has utility, massive adoptive potential, right, is gaming. We're in gaming. So in our gaming portfolio, we have Gala games. We're doing Illuvium. We're doing Decentral games. We're doing
Crypto.com.
Well, that's utility. I wasn't getting into that. Utility. We're just talking about the gaming. And through Gala, we get a whole lot of games. So we're into those projects. And then on the utility side, we're into Phantasma, which is Sol, because they are a blockchain for gaming. You know, hello. So that's infrastructure. And then we're getting into Crypto.com because hell, they're doing a major play. Hell, they just got the Staples Center, Lakers, you know, Crypto.com Center now.
I'm super
They're
bullish.
They're going to play Christmas Day, and they're going to be Crypto.com Center. So be watching for that. LeBron, all them boys, they're going to be in the Crypto.com Center. So
have you seen actually the commercial with
Matt Damon? They got a deal with him. Shit, they're going wild. So we bought a nice fat position in that. Those tokens are still kind of cheap right now, about 50 cents. You better bag them now. Get your bags.
I think we should talk about Crypto.com on the upcoming.
We will. But real quick, just to give them a little incentive of why we like the project is their utility is, and their mission statement is they're trying to make, because you just said it earlier, it's not the same reason our damn producer won't get in there. It's not easy to get into space. It's a little tricky, you know, with wallets and sending currency and crypto and shit back and forth. Well, Crypto.com is making this shit stupid easy, and they're going to be the massive on-ramp for millions and hundreds of millions of people to get into the cryptocurrency space. What their goal is to move people from fiat, from banking, to crypto banking. DeFi. So that's what they're doing, and they're making it stupid easy. So I love it. So it's a great project for that reason.
Those are the 5 projects we're currently working on. The microcap space.
Micros.
The large cap space, there's...
We're just basically Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's it.
Ethereum and Bitcoin. On my personal one, I'm into Solana and Cardano. And
he has a love affair with those.
I have a love affair on Cardano and Solana. And we'll talk about that later. Yeah. But I think one thing is very important. If you can get into crypto, right, the very first thing to understand is there's large cap, the sun. You mentioned that it's Bitcoin, right? That's the
biggest planet out there.
That's the biggest planet in the crypto space. Then the moon, it's Ethereum. Why Ethereum? Because everything, the majority of the big projects
run on Ethereum.
Run on Ethereum, and it's been now very influential project in the crypto space that you can do a lot of different things, smart contracts. You can do right now staking. Just like me talking right now, we haven't talked about proof of. We haven't talked about like staking. We haven't talked about liquidity pools. We haven't talked about
but our principal strategy is we keep it very simple.
Keep it very simple.
Ridiculously stupid simple. So what we do is stupid simple, and we're going to be talking about that in the upcoming.
So the very first thing, if you're going to get into crypto, what the very first thing you need to do, buy Bitcoin. That's just for you to understand. Get a wallet
and buy Bitcoin.
Get a wallet, right? The very first thing, if you're going to get into crypto, it's get a wallet, buy fraction of Bitcoin, because now this whole space allow you to buy fractions of
start buying fractions.
Crypto.
Yep.
Now, understand something. When you buy in Bitcoin, right, you're not just buying the currency itself. You're buying a piece of the network. That's the most important thing when it comes about understanding crypto in a way, or understanding cryptocurrencies. The very first thing you need to understand is just you're not just buying the cryptocurrency. Behind that, there's a technology, there's a blockchain, there's a network, there's participant. And when we talk about network, we're talking about users who are part of that network. That's what makes them super valuable in the process. It's just not only you're not just speculating on buying just a simple currency with a spot price of $48,000. You're buying an entire network. You're participant on that. There's people behind that participating in that specific space, and that's what creates the attractiveness of this whole movement. That's why it's $1 trillion movement. That's why it's worth $1 trillion in market capitalization, because there's shitload of people. It's the world participating in this network. It's just not just a
24/7, 7 days a week.
And it's fucking 24/7. It's just not only like a user, it's not only like a crypto coin with the market price. It's an entire fucking network. That's what it's a fucking crypto. That's why we are so into this. That's why we are into this space, So our top holdings are Bitcoin
80%, Bitcoin, Ethereum 80%,
and then
10% micro caps.
Right.
Projects that we love, projects that we want to hold to give it to your kids, right? And we're looking to ride those from micro caps to when they become large caps. So that's the play there. And then we'll talk about next time. We'll talk about our more specifics on how we trade. 10% of our portfolio is in active trading. That means swing trading and day trading in Bitcoin and some Ethereum.
Right. And I think the final question here to wrap up this little space right here, is this still a good time to buy Bitcoin?
It's always a good time to buy Bitcoin. But specifically, it's down. So you want to be picking it up in the part of your portfolio that you want to hold. Everybody, I don't care if you got $1,000, $500, a part of your portfolio should be in long-term holding, that you just keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. And then you just let it grow over time. You're not going to be able to beat buy and hold. It just works over time. You just can't beat it. So you might as well start doing it now, even if you're small, So.
And to answer my boy's question, because I wanted to keep this last question at the end, what moves Bitcoin? That's a very
What moves it?
What moves it? What actually moves Bitcoin? Right?
Supply and demand, obviously, right?
So obviously, supply and demand. Mm-hmm. But I think.
But what really moves it is it's a limited supply asset. It's only 22 million of them. A lot of those are being held, never to see the light of day. Some of them have been burned. Some have been lost. And then the mining is going to be over in a few years. There won't be any more mining. So you're going to be just trading within. I think they're going to convert to this Satoshi type of situation where people are just going to be buying and selling in fractions of a coin. What's going to happen in the future is it's going to be rare to have a whole coin. You're going to be in a small community of people that actually own a coin, because you're going to have, once this gets massive adoption, you're going to have hundreds of millions of people that just got fractions, and only some real players might still have a whole coin or more, because once they stop making them, once it's over, that's it. You're just going to be trading with what's out there. And a lot of it is already being locked away in wallets and never see the light of day. So you're only going to be trading a very small pool of what's out there. Maybe only 30% of it's just actively going back and forth, split between hundreds of millions of people, maybe 1 billion people. So you're going to be talking about dealing in lots of zeros, fractions. So if you can put together a piece of it now, it's going to be worth a lot later. Like we holding a coin here, we can just hold on to it. 10, 20 years down the road, those things might be worth $250,000 each or $1 million each. That's doable.
And I think one thing also to answer on that specific question is on my personal side was my feeling. It's that I believe in bubbles, right? And I believe that history repeats itself. The internet revolution in the 90s
was a bubble.
was a big bubble that pops in 2000, 2002. It accelerated in 1995, and it
Popped in '99.
popped in 1999. It was worse in
Well,
2000s.
Y2K, all that, yeah.
To wipe
2000.
out everybody in the space. A lot of very good projects come out in that specific
All with
bubble.
about 5%.
Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, all those like big ass companies out there that control the centralized internet, right? The survivals of the internet. And one thing that I noticed was only the wipeout situation on that was only $5 trillion. So the accumulation of that revolution, right? When it popped, right? When the bubble actually popped in a way, the wipeout situation was $5 trillion. Okay, right now at this specific moment, the entire market cap of the cryptocurrency space, it's only $2.5 trillion, which is half what was wiped out in the 1995 all the way to 2000. What do I mean by this? What I mean by this is that even if it was $5 trillion that got wiped out in 1995, when the very first wave of revolution of the internet developed, right? This time it's way more bigger. There's more understanding on the technology side. There's more development. There's more participants. There's actually projects that are making a lot of money, right? They're giving you rewards by you putting money in the project, right? There's a lot of sustainable projects out there generating cash flow. And that itself allow you to understand that we're still, in my personal opinion, in the early stages of a big bull run in the cryptocurrency space, because this thing is big, bro.
And it's just starting.
And it's just starting. We're talking about millions and millions and millions of participants joining the network.
Yeah.
Why? Because now we have access through our phones.
Yeah.
You have access to open a wallet right now, open a Robinhood. Shit, even Facebook itself.
It's getting in the game.
Right? It's getting in the game through the Meta. Right? Meta. But they're building their own cryptocurrency, right? And they're going to allow you to use their cryptocurrency for the movement of a native currency in the internet. In essence, Bitcoin, just like my boy Jack Dorsey says from Twitter, Bitcoin will become the native currency of the internet, right? It will not substitute the fiat, because let's be realistic in a way, you still need fiat. As long as the government exists, fiat will exist as well. What's going to happen only, it's the decentralized world, which is the internet, will have its own, right, native currency. In this case, it's going to be Bitcoin. And I thinking like when you're actually thinking on that type of framework, why not being bullish on Bitcoin? What's the worst case scenario, when there's so much money into it, right? And I think that could be that
might sound like the conclusion.
That might sound like the conclusion.
Can't fall. That's a mic drop.
That's a mic drop. So let's catch up next week, right? Let's talk about our updates.
We'll just keep updating everybody on what we're doing. This was kind of like an overview, right? Kind of like an overview of the whole market space.
You know what I feel? I feel like
but now we're going to, next week, we'll get more specific. Each time we do this, we'll meet up here. We'll get deeper into what we're actually doing. And
one important thing is this. We want to be connected with the people in the community who are tied to the crypto space.
Yeah.
If you have any questions on, even if it's the most basic questions like how to open a wallet.
Or comments or anything.
Or comments, or if it's a good time to buy Bitcoin, or how do you actually buy Bitcoin in a way. All those type of things, I think drop the comments, send us a message.
Follow us on Discord, right?
Oh, that's the one thing. It's good that you mentioned that.
Reach us on Discord.
We're going to drop below the link. Like it, follow, and at the same time, you have any questions, just, let us know. So I think this is a wrap for this, I guess, how do you want to call this? Episode? Update? Let's call it an update.
There's our updates.
These are weekly updates, so I hope you like this.
What we're doing now.
Next week, we're going to talk about multiple things, from investing on what is the gaming space, on the microcap space as well. How do you actually understand the fundamentals of Ethereum? shit like that.
Trading,
so trading, bots too. We're gonna also tell
Bots,
people
we
how to
got
do the algorithm.
A lot of things to talk
A
about.
lot of things to talk about. So see you next week.
All right, peace out.
Peace out.